children, education in Kenya has for a long time been treated as a one-cloth-fits-it-all. But for children living with dyslexia, a disorder characterized by trouble with reading, education can be anything but normal. Maya, who is 8 years old, suffers from dyslexia. While her age mates are already conversant with the basic skills required for reading, Maya is still struggling to form the words in her mind and sound them out.
Is bent the bent pet is sharp.
If her condition was not known, she would easily be labeled as a slow learner or dumb, as most of the children suffering from the reading disorder are usually labeled. Maya is one of the students who studies at Kenya Community Center for Learning, which was started in 2001. The school caters for children with learning disability. Esther Omae, being the school principal, has worked with children with learning disabilities for 14 years now.
Dyslexia is a specific learning disability, and it affects the way the brain processes information. So it's a specific learning disability, and mostly it affects the reading. Therefore, we call it a reading disability. It's neurological in nature, meaning that it's got to do with the makeup of the brain, the way the brain is wired to process information, either spoken or written. And what happens to a dyslexic brain is that information is not processed in a normal way, the way a brain of a typical person does. And therefore what happens is that the brain of a dyslexic person processes sounds differently. What may appear like it's a struggle, because what happens is that dyslexia is just an isolated weakness in the language function of the brain.
Miriam Jerry, a student at Rare Gem School, had to endure the challenges of dyslexia, but it is the labels of being called dumb she has found to be painful.
Nilikuwa hata siwezi kuandika jina yangu, hata kusoma. Nilikuwa hata siwezi hata kusoma hata jina moja.
Walimu walikuwa wanasemaje?
Wengine walikuwa wananichapa. Pia walikuwa wananiita majina.
Na wanafunzi wenzako
walikuwa wananitoroka.
It was the pain of seeing their child struggle that Miriam's parents decided to bring her to Rare Gem School, where she is getting her education from teachers who understand her condition and are willing to adjust to her speed of learning. Nancy, together with her sister, started Rare Gem School to cater for needs of children suffering from dyslexia. For Nancy, the school was more than just a business venture, because the whole idea came from challenges from her child who is suffering from dyslexia.
I'm a trained teacher in special needs education. I work for Dyslexia Organization Kenya. Dyslexia Organization Kenya runs a school called Rare Gem Talent School. 80% of children in the Rare Gem Talent School have dyslexia. According to World Health Organization, 10% of population is dyslexic. In Africa, because of the causes that cause dyslexia, they are more found in Africa. So therefore, the population the percentage could increase to 15%. After myself and my sister and some other parents had problem taking care of their children, taking children at school where they were not taken care of because they had dyslexia. So after going for training, we felt like it is necessary that we create awareness for children to the parents and to the teachers, who most of the time they are not trained on how to identify, how to intervene, or even how to help the children with the dyslexia. So that's why we decided to start the school, Rajam Talent School. So it's quite very frustrating for a parent, but for a parents, you don't need to leave the child to the teacher. You need to do a combined effort when teaching the child. You come in, you identify the child's talent, and after that you can be able to nurture. Patience is what helps.
With proper training, the children can achieve normal learning capacity and are highly creative and talented. John, a class 7 student, also at Rajam School, has difficulty in reading but has a talent in skating and jumping obstacles while skating. What dyslexic children need is an ample time to make it work, since their minds take time to process information.
Dyslexia is not a medical condition. It is not as a result of a medical condition. It's a neurological issue. It's got to do with the way the brain processes information. And that is why persons with dyslexia, with the right instruction strategies, with the right remediation, with the right accommodation, there's a way when you use the right approach to teaching, like we have an approach we call the Orton-Gillingham, which is a multisensory approach to teaching. By multisensory, I mean where you engage all the senses, the visual, the auditory, the tactile, the kinesthetic. There are high chances of redirecting the way the brain processes information. Because what happens is that the brain has what we call the neural circuits. That's the wiring that people talk about when you hear somebody say, I'm not hardwired for this. It's the neural circuits that are involved in reading. And we have paths, just like we have a path when you want to move from here to here. It's the same case. So there's a pathway that the words or sounds follow for them to be able to be processed. So for dyslexic, now they take a longer pathway. And that's why their reading is struggled, it is labored, because it is not automatic. For typical people, it is automatic. They take the normal and the direct route. But for dyslexic, they take a longer pathway, or not what we call, not the normal pathway. But with the right instruction, with the right remediation, chances are you can redirect the brain, and you can actually even mitigate the impact or reduce the effects of dyslexia. And you may have a child who previously was not able to read, but if you use this multisensory approach to teaching, the child now starts reading. Even if the progress may be slow, the child starts reading. However, it's important for viewers to understand that dyslexia is a lifelong condition. And because it's not a medical condition where you prescribe dosage and after the prescription the person is well, it's a lifelong condition. So what we do is that even with the right instructional approaching, you still find that the effects of dyslexia will still be felt in a person's life throughout their life. The struggle with reading will still be there. Maybe the degree may vary. It may be reduced. It may not be as significant as it was before the intervention was done. But there are still going to be effects of dyslexia that will affect a person throughout their life.
Boy, you are going to differentiate the different colors by matching the colors, okay? For example, it is written dark pink. You get another shape of dark pink and join it together, okay? So when you do that.
Dyslexia is a gift, a hidden ability that the world cannot see, a learning disability that shows we are all different with different ways of learning. Dyslexics are not slow learners, but different learners.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart chose? Only time.
For ITV, I'm Naima Ali.